Let's talk about breaking out of old patterns. Most humans live in autopilot. This means that their subconscious mind is wired in a particular way so that it just executes the same patterns over and over and over again, and people don't really have any awareness around this whatsoever. They just find themselves in the same loops over and over again. Wake up, check phone, brush teeth, go to work, eating the same foods, feeling the same way, hanging out with the same people, doing work that they don't like, and a lot of this stuff most likely applies to you. These subconscious patterns control every single aspect of your life: career, health, relationships, happiness. The goals you set, the values that you have, determines whether or not you have good boundaries or whether you're a people pleaser. It's just wired into you, and you find yourself executing them time and time again, and you find yourself just stuck in loops. It's like, what is this? This is very weird, actually. Why is it like this? If you want to change anything whatsoever in your life at a very deep level that actually creates lasting changes, you need to understand your own psychology. This is just common sense. If you understand the mechanics of your own mind, you can make meaningful and lasting changes. You can actually go into your own psychology, rewire it so that you can experience the things that you really want to be experiencing. It's completely possible for you to do this. And when you're really investigating your own psychology, there's quite a few brutal things to human psychology that will pop up. For example, how your subconscious mind controls 90 to 95% of your life. And these are forces that exist beyond your ability to manipulate them in some gross physical way, like picking up a hammer and like hitting a nail. It just doesn't work in this sort of overly left-brained, physical, overly masculine approach. And we don't really like to feel controlled, whether it's by another person, a system, or just any force that exists beyond our ability to just grab it and change it. But this is how life works. This is what's true about your life. 90 to 95% of it is controlled by things that are out of your awareness. And these forces, these patterns, cannot be manipulated in a gross material way. So what's the answer if you can't manipulate these patterns in a gross material way? The answer is to raise your own consciousness. The answer is to become aware of them. The answer is to understand these forces so that you can see them in real time, you know what they're doing, and through your own awareness, you heal them, you allow them to bubble up to the surface, and many of them can just kind of dismantle, and you can replace them with patterns that actually serve you. A lot of the patterns that people are stuck in are just things from their childhood. You most likely have absolutely no idea how impactful your childhood actually was on you, because you don't have any other reference experiences. You only have your life. You only have this experience. And it's easy to just overlook this, but the vast majority of the things you do are completely dictated by things that happen to you between the ages of 0 to 18. And you're not a slave to any of these patterns or forces. It's just that they're in you. You're not aware of them, and they keep playing themselves out. But you can become aware of them, heal them, change them. Voila. These forces exist in subtle realms that you don't pay attention to. You just don't direct your attention to them. Why? Because you're always distracted. It's very convenient that you're always distracted by your phone, junk food, other people, things happening in the external world in general. It's very convenient that this is always the case, almost always. Isn't that something to be suspicious about, that your mind is always directing you away from it and into the external world time and time again? Simply put, not enough attention is directed towards yourself. You just don't know yourself. You don't direct your awareness to yourself enough. These patterns that control you exist inside of you, and you can observe them right now. The second you know what to look for, you can just stare at them right in the face. They're right there. It's not like this old subconscious, unconscious mind, and we go in there with like our little candle or our lantern, and we're going through and we're taking out these cobwebs. No, they're right there. They're right there in your experience. They're happening right now. Many of these patterns are strictly built on the avoidance of pain. And we can just boil that down even more to just avoidance. Many of them are self-destructive. Many of them have no real meaningful contribution to your well-being or the sort of long-term vision that you hopefully have for your life. Many of them are just built on trying to just be happy. There's nothing wrong with trying to be happy, but they're built on poor strategies for trying to be happy. Built on just chasing a momentary pleasure and just pure survival needs. Nothing wrong with survival needs, but it's just built upon trying to just get something to fill up some sense of dissatisfaction that you don't want to experience. It's ways that we just avoid suffering and get things that we want, things that we will believe will make us happy. Because what are you doing in like 99% of your life? Why do you eat food? Why do you shower? Why do you brush your teeth? Why are you watching this video? Why do you get into a relationship? Why do you make money? Why do you have your job? All of this is just to be happy. You just want to feel good in your life, and that's it. You just want to live a meaningful, happy, fulfilling existence. That's like one of the core reasons for why you do anything whatsoever. Another reason is just to avoid pain. You just want pleasure. You just want to feel good. So you aren't a victim to any of these patterns. You are the creator of them. Yeah, who else established them? It was you. And you most likely established them in order to survive. There are a lot of your just core survival needs and just survival patterns that you just had to establish in order to get what you needed to survive in childhood. Your emotional needs, physical needs, etc. Your whole spectrum of needs. And now you act them out without any awareness. You as a kid weren't really creating any of this consciously. You were just reacting to circumstances in life and trying to adapt to them because life is confusing, life is strange, life is mysterious, and you're just trying to survive and avoid pain. And now these patterns control you like a puppet on a string, because after years of doing that, you get to the point where you have such a massive ego, sense of self, that has been constructed around these patterns, and you don't really know anything other than this. Just over time, these patterns form, and then it gets to the point where it feels like this is just what life is. This is just who I am. This is just how the world works. But it's not. It really isn't. And it doesn't need to be this way. There's no law in the universe that says it just needs to be this way for you, that you have to continue on with these patterns. But without awareness, this is just what happens. When you're just stuck, lost, zoning out into your phone every day, your computer, the job you hate, the same friends who do the same stuff over and over and over again. And, you can hang out with your friends. I'm not saying not to hang out with your friends, but choose them wisely. When you're just giving your attention and your energy to the same things that are just keeping you stuck, yeah, you're going to be stuck, obviously, by definition. When you aren't investing your own attention back into yourself, you're not going to have any self-awareness. You're not going to see any of this. So like I said, without awareness, this is just how it is. When you're stuck giving your attention to the external world 100% of the time, this is just what occurs. I mean, how could it be any other way? If you're not giving yourself awareness, how do you expect to notice any of this and change it? In summary, your mind finds some patterns, calls them home, finds a sense of security and safety in them. It can get some of its needs met, and then it just acts out this pattern over and over and over again until you die. Yeah, that's right. Literally until you die. No one is going to come and change this for you. Nothing else is going to happen. You're wired like this, and it will just play itself out until you cease to exist, or until you evolve. Which option sounds better to you? So shine the light of awareness on yourself. Direct your attention to yourself. Stop zoning out to just mindless stuff, just getting distracted. Spend time with yourself. Spend time reflecting. Spend time meditating. Get your diet straight. Eat dominantly fruits and vegetables. Cut out all your junk food. Don't eat way too much meat. It's going to make you just kind of heavy and foggy. Dominantly fruits and vegetables, right? You can have a piece of cake every once in a while if you want to, but be honest with yourself. Do you actually have a very well-balanced diet that will support you in your ability to feel good? Your diet affects more than your physical well-being. It affects your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical well-being. It impacts your relationships, your career, your clarity, decision-making, your ability to regulate emotion, your body's ability to produce high-quality states that just feel good. So what kind of gas are you going to give yourself? What kind of food are you going to give yourself? What kind of energy are you going to give yourself? If you had a Ferrari, you'd give that car the best gas. Right now, your body is that Ferrari. What kind of food are you going to be giving it? The choice here is yours. You can live unconsciously, but what are the consequences of that? It's a lot of unnecessary suffering. You squander your potential. It's not very fulfilling. Or you can create a life consciously for yourself. You can direct more attention to the inner dynamics. You can direct more attention to your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, sensations, feelings, motivations, values, goals. the things that you're dissatisfied with and your feelings of dissatisfaction. You can direct your attention to gratitude, to building a good routine. Choose what you give your attention to. This is your most valuable resource. And what sounds more exciting to you? What sounds more fulfilling to you? What would the highest version of yourself do here? Would it just stay stuck in the familiar over and over and over again? Or would it actually have, he or she, have the courage to actually direct their own attention to all these things that I've just mentioned and begin to change them? That's it for this video. I'm offering one-to-one coaching. Link is in the pinned comment and the description. Take it easy.